Hey, so we're still in the desert.
Yeah,
Deserted nowhere's land.
yeah.
But you know what's actually cool is there's a lot of cool stuff that happens here. In fact, like some of the research we were doing last night, there's a lot of everything happening here. So pretty exciting actually to see how much is happening. So
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's ever been into architecture. You'll kind of maybe know where we're at if you've ever been to this place. But this is what do they call it? Taliesin West.
Taliesin, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's
So
Frank
Frank
Lloyd
Lloyd Wright.
Wright.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's this place. We're
Hmm.
gonna do this tour, a 70-minute walk tour. App.
Self-guided.
Yep.
Hmm.
Self-guided walk around tour. So we're gonna check this out. We're gonna
Yeah.
start at the bottom and work our way through this thing. But it's kind of fun to see all this really cool old architecture. That's
Well,
not old. It's actually kind of modern, but it's
old modern.
yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. Interesting.
Well, and it's something that you've always really admired. And we've never been actually on property for Frank Lloyd Wright House.
Right.
And so, since we have a couple hours before we have to be at the airport today, to fly from Phoenix to Denver, why not
Yeah.
come check this out?
Yeah. This is one of those legendary places, Taliesin West. Let's
Yeah.
check it out.
Let's go look.
So, so like, okay, so one of the cool things is this is the kind of architecture we're talking about. Because you can architecture, but also because it's cool architecture. And what's really neat about it is if you look really close at that, you can see how the concrete was board formed. And it's really rough. It's not finished. And so it's really raggedly rough, which is part of the architecture style. Really reminds me of my grandpa's house when he
Yeah.
would build up in the dome,
Yeah.
right? Everything was kind of like this, so kind of cool to see it actually. How about that fountain?
We're doing a self-guided audio tour, so Nate and I are both wearing an earbud from my little set. I'm going to play it on my phone so that we can both hear the same thing at the same time. But there's all these different places to scan it. But when you come, they'll have you download the app and then download the self-guided tour. So we're excited to see it.
Okay, so just before we start moving into this is the entry place. There's a whole plaza, so like, don't want to swing around too fast, but like, here's the whole entire plaza. We started over there, kind of walking through this space. Lots of cool desert stuff, so we got some B-roll out there. That was kind of fun. But now we're going into the actual space here. So one of the cool things I wanted to point out is like, okay, so I'm just gonna point. So like, look at how that wall is made, right? So there's the wall comes down, and there's a little notch in it, and then a drop off. That's pretty cool. And if you follow that, it kind of goes all the way around by the wheelchair ramp and over here into that wall. And so you'll see these kind of segmentations and stuff, angles, crazy angles, amazing angles, frankly. And just the way that they put it all together, and their board form concrete, stuffing the big rocks into it, forming the boards around it, and pouring concrete pretty roughly in, frankly. You know, modern construction, they would have been like, let's use a vibrator and get all that, all that concrete pushed in the holes just right and proper. But this is kind of a cool look. Like, it's a different kind of look where the concrete kind of balled up and formed, and it was probably not made by a cement truck. It's probably made by hand. So it's pretty cool pouring it all in there and all the different pours and how it all mixed and matched on top of it. It's pretty interesting. I didn't really say anything about this, but this is pretty interesting, right? So put all of this in there, big theater piece of all this, I don't know, looks like Japanese or Chinese. And then they just formed it into the concrete. Pretty cool. I don't think that's an art piece. It goes with it. I think it's just how it is, right?
I don't know.
It was part of the original stuff. I don't know. They didn't say anything about it, but I like it. Okay, another one of the cool things I really love is see that same concrete line right there, right? Same line. That line flows in, and then look at these low roofs, these low ceilings, canvas tops, so that the water flows right off the top, and then look at this canopy sticking over the side. And then the beams coming down at super hard, intense angles. And then it loops around where there's that light bulb right there. Yeah. Picking up all the little architectural lines, bends and curves and parts and pieces. Just love it. Pretty amazing stuff.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's old, right? So it's beautiful and it's old, but it has that hand wrought kind of look, right? Like it's all handmade.
It feels a lot like your grandpa's house used to feel.
Yeah, exactly. Because you used to love that that kind of rough sawn wood and concrete that just was not perfected, but was awesome and super structural and thick.
Yeah.
I wish my grandpa would have designed a little more intense like this. Would have been pretty cool, but you know, it's all right.
Yeah.
Sometimes he mellowed out, but yeah, look at these two posts that are just holding that little canopy thing up. Checkered canopy and these two blue and red posts. It's pretty amazing. Oh, and then I don't know if y'all saw in some of the B-roll we showed, but that table was in there. It was super low. I loved it. And then there was a fireplace in the corner, which was literally just a corner that had a little thing, and they built a fire there, and it just went out the chimneys. That was.
But yeah, the fireplace was absolutely gorgeous in there. I love that kind of design.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then just the wall now leads into this. That was his office. That was his office right there. So that's where you bring clients. Obviously, I mean, like the first thing, bring all your clients into your main office and show them cool stuff in a cool little office built into the plaza. It's pretty sweet. Love it. Okay, so we're listening to this audio track, and one of the things they're really specifically talking about is organic architecture. That was Frank Lloyd Wright's deal, right? So his whole focus on how he did stuff. And this is how it works. It's like how much space is opened up and how it leads you to different places. So as I kind of pan around here in this fountain area, it's kind of the main hub area. And you can go in 5 different directions. It's pretty sweet. I love it. But I think what I really like about this space is just how rough it is. I don't know what it is, but the roughness, but then looking down that space, and then the intensity of the architecture of the building. Look at that. Pretty sweet. wonder all the bees are hanging out around here. We got some serious flower smelling coming out of here. Really nice. Look at all the bees. I also love the checkered styles, all the pointed angles, and then all these canvas panel sets. So look at this, it's like not much to it, but it's literally just a wooden frame and then wrapped in canvas and sitting out here on the patio just to shade you. Pretty smart, easy.
because it's so pretty and it's so delicate and yet so strong. And it reminds me a lot of like the 1960s churches that I was in when I was a kid, with the stone walls and rough wood and just the different colors and things. Just absolutely gorgeous. What do you think, Nate?
Yeah, I mean, the thing like this bell tower right here. I got some other footage of the bell tower too, but like that is amazing. Stairways, nooks and crannies, vent spaces, dentiles on main beams. All these glass panels, single panel glass, but it's all commercial grade UV glass, so it's gonna hold up really well. The little flip down canvas flaps that were up there. Again, if this was a camp, right? So it was a camp, so everything was kind of a glorified tent. It was kind of the mindset behind some of this area. Glass didn't really come into this place until what, 70s they said or something? So yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. One of the buildings we were just in was their storage location for when they would pack up for summer. So they would,
Kiva.
Yeah, the Kiva. They would basically take everything that was priceless or was delicate, and they would tuck it into that little space and close it up because it was all exposed to the summer heat.
Right.
So.
And that was really fairly cool in there. I mean, it's cooler outside today, but like, I bet in the summertime that's pretty amazing in there.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's pretty cool
Next
stuff.
place is the drafting studio. We're heading towards that way, and it's got some really cool orange doors and these beautiful pink flowers on the walkway down.
Okay. Yeah, I was just looking at this place up top. That looks like kind of a cool view from up there, so maybe we'll get to check that out. Okay, cool. So this is a door, but this panel right here, that's a door too. How cool is that? Yeah, I don't know. I like this kind of stuff. Living differently, right? And then how about this for an office? The drafting room where everybody worked on their drafts and then hung them up on the A-frames. Got some ideas, that's for sure.
Well, that was incredible.
That was the tour, and I think we only got to see maybe
I think about a half of it.
a half, maybe a third of it.
Yeah.
Because there's like this building we were just in. That was the
Mhm.
last little theaters thing that they did.
Yeah.
And then back behind there is another big major space.
Mm.
We didn't do the private tour of the,
No,
of the
but
home.
we'll be back, mind
But yeah,
you.
this is something to come back
Yeah,
to, I
we'll be
think.
back.
This time of the year. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
We'll
right? No,
come
I would
back
do
anyway.
it this time of the year again for sure, because the weather's just perfect. It's warm but not hot,
Yeah.
and that's wonderful, and all the air is just moving just right. But the place is gorgeous. It definitely, like, if you're a person who's studied the architecture of this artist, it's like it meets all of your expectations, and
Oh, yeah.
and you get to just see it, which is awesome.
And I think it
be in
inspired us again. It's funny because we always talk about architecture. Heidi and I always get into things like, oh, we should paint this room. No, we should redo this room.
Yeah.
No, we should redo the house. Maybe we should spend a bunch of money redoing the house. And it's like, maybe we should just build the house we want to build.
Yep.
And then you come here and you're like,
Yep.
yeah, let's build the house we want to build because this is
the house
pretty epic.
The house that God's given us
Oh, yeah.
is really awesome, and it just needs to stay the character that it is.
Yeah.
And then when it's time, God will give us the next thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that helped us make some decisions for sure.
Yeah, I mean, architectural decisions to base how we put a house on a piece of property, how we put trees and plants in
Yeah.
place, the kinds of materials to use,
Mm-hmm.
even the way to do it where it's not so perfectly done.
Yeah,
I mean,
which
that to me, I think
is
is
the part
what
I
is
like.
pretty epic. Yeah.
I like it
Very
when
natural.
it's home.
Mhm.
For people who haven't been to something like this, I would say the feeling that you get from it is like walking into a familiar place that you're like, oh, that's where you are. That's what it felt
Oh,
like.
okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me of when my dad and my uncle and my grandpa built the geodesic dome up in Nathrop, Colorado.
Yeah.
Which maybe one day, if I ever had a chance, I'd buy that back. But
Or
it felt a
make
lot
your
like
own.
this.
Yeah.
Because they used the same kind of stones and walls. They maybe didn't use the same technique. They were putting
Yeah.
stones onto formed walls, but then
Mm-hmm.
filling in the mud around it. But it felt a lot like this. It felt kind
Yeah.
of similar. The wood.
Yeah.
They used a ton of rough sawn wood there.
Yeah.
Painted it similar colors. So I mean, I feel like
Mhm.
my grandpa was probably inspired, and here I was growing up thinking, this place is kind of janky, and it actually was really epic.
It's awesome.
So he was
Yeah.
probably inspired by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
it's
highly
pretty
recommend.
amazing.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in the Phoenix, Arizona area, it literally was a 20-minute drive from our Airbnb, 30 minutes from the airport.
Yeah.
Take the time, come do it. It was $40 a person. I feel like that was the value. You download an app, they require you to have earbuds in,
I
which we
think they
shared.
said they gave you some stuff.
Well, you
too,
can
if
borrow
lost
it if
yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think it's worth it. So thank you for coming along with us. Thank you for journeying in this wonderful adventure that we are on together. Just remember that God loves you and that He's there for you. And if you don't mind, please remember to hit that like button and follow and subscribe and share if you feel so compelled. We are really appreciating you guys becoming more and more a part of our journey. We'll see you on the next one.
Sounds good. Right
Okay.
on. See you then.
Bye-bye.